Games this next weekend have playoff implications. It's the best NFL season I've ever seen. Where other sports, college football has given us the same national title game probably. NBA's got one great team. I've never seen a league with this much parity. It's incredible. And the good news is, Joy, Jimmy Garoppolo comes back next year. I think we have 2 college kids that can come in and play immediately, and all the young rookie quarterbacks are working. Josh Allen, I thought he needed to sit for 2 years. Josh Allen's working, so it's good. All right, it's called Best for Last. Here we go. It's our 3-word NFL game. I can describe every NFL game in 3 words. Here we go. Chargers, Chiefs from Thursday. Legit LA contender. 4-game winning streak. Deepest roster, in my opinion, in the NFL. They have the longest current NFL winning streak. And Phillip Rivers, behind Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees, has the 3rd highest passer rating. They no longer make those dumb Charger mistakes. I don't think there's a team that has this many good players on a roster. I talked to a buddy this weekend, a scout, and I said, what's their weakness? He said, maybe guard. They are stacked. Browns, Broncos, decisions, disasters. That was a mess. Denver coach Vance Joseph, trailing by 4, went with a field goal late. That didn't make any sense. Then Greg Williams called a timeout, effectively canceling the Browns' offsides penalty that would have ended the game and sealed the win. I know everybody in Cleveland's fired up about Greg Williams, but that was a poorly coached NFL football game. Texans, Jets, Darnold's the story. His leading rusher was out. His top receiver was out. He threw 2 touchdowns, no picks, 100 passer rating behind an offensive line that lost its center and lost its right tackle. That was one of the most impressive losing performances by a quarterback. He has nothing to begin with. He had backups at running back, receiver, center, right tackle against Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, and he almost pulled it out. Dolphins, Vikings, Minnesota, what? The Dolphins ranked 30th in defense. 1 o'clock window, wouldn't you know, Kirk Cousins lights it up. That's always the case. 1 o'clock window at home, Minnesota looks unbeatable. Cowboys, Colts, not since 2003. First time the Cowboys have been shut out since week 11, 15 years ago. In fact, Quincy Carter, if you remember him, was the quarterback then. You know, Dak was 24 of 39, but it was a lot of Dak and Dink and Dak. Passer rating was 64, no touchdowns, a lot of underneath throws. Listen, Zeke had a decent game, but he didn't have a great game. And Amari Cooper, they rolled coverage over it. He didn't get the big day. And they faced a Indianapolis team that's defensive line is way better than predicted. Redskins, Jags, 4th string quarterback. Yeah, the Redskins signed quarterback Josh Johnson on December 5th. They've gone through Alex Smith, Colt McCoy, Mark Sanchez, and by the way, prior to the season, Josh Johnson hadn't thrown a pass in the NFL in 7 years. So good luck with that. Packers, Bears, Rodgers' new reality. All right, Bears win the division, first time in 8 years. They are loaded on defense with young, affordable players. Now, Khalil Mack is their star, but first back-to-back losing seasons for the Packers since 1990-91. Aaron was hobbled at the end of the game. He's now 35. He now makes $33 million a year, meaning this is a team that's not going to be able to keep some of their free agents, which the Packers are prone to do. I think this is Aaron's new reality. They'll win games, may still win the division, but it's going to be a harder last 5 than his first 10 in this league. Raiders, Bengals. Oakland beat Pittsburgh? Yeah, last week Oakland beat Pittsburgh. And yesterday, they couldn't compete with the Bengals for a quarter. They are now 3-11 on the season. Buccaneers, Ravens, Joe Flacco nevermore. It's over. Now, we knew going into the season, once they drafted Lamar Jackson, we thought, all right, well, Joe Flacco's not going to be here forever. Well, forever's over. Lamar's 4-1. Their leading rusher. He is indisputably, inarguably added juice and energy to this team. And by the way, the Ravens are also just a half a game back of the Steelers in the AFC North. Lions-Bills finally found a quarterback. Josh Allen's averaging 88 yards rushing in the last 4 games. That's 7th most of any player in the National Football League. Buffalo's got a defensive staff, a defensive first staff, and I do like a lot of the things they do on defense. But this is nice. No more overpaying for Ryan Fitzpatrick in September. The Buffalo Bills have found Josh Allen, who, by the way, has a little Ben Roethlisberger. Not saying he's bent. Got a little big, tall guy, big arm, runs around. Got themselves a little Ben Roethlisberger. Patriots, Steelers, time beating Tom. Do you know New England has never made the Super Bowl without a bye? And Joy, currently, they're not in position for a bye. And I thought yesterday it looked like they needed a week to reboot. They look tired. Edelman now drops more footballs than ever. Gronk was barely part of their game plan until late. I'd like more James White. I like Sony Michel, but I'd like to see more James White.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Titans, Giants. Remember the Titans. Okay. 8 seed. By the way, physically, they're as impressive. If they ever got into a bar fight or a hotel lobby fight, it's one of the most physically impressive teams in the league. Yesterday, they just imposed their will on the New York Giants. They face Washington at home and the Colts at home. Now, they have had no luck with Andrew Luck. He owns the Titans, but they've still got a chance. Seahawks, 49ers. Seahawks blew it. They could have clinched the wild card with a victory. And you know what I'm really excited for next year? Jimmy Garoppolo and Jarrett McKinnon. So Kyle Shanahan gets his quarterback and his running back next year. The 49ers lose a lot of close games. They've got their tight end. They've got some receivers I like. They got a couple pass rushers. Cardinals, Falcons. Did not watch. Falcons blew them out by 30. Game was over in like 8 minutes. Eagles, Rams. Don't buy the glitz. Back-to-back losses for Los Angeles. They've now lost 4 of their last 5 games in December and January. I think this team, they're trying to sell PSLs. They wanted some stars. They overpaid for Brandon Cooks, and Ndamukong Suh's doing his own thing. Dante Flowers, they gave up draft picks for. I would not have. I think they're top-heavy. I think you see this, like the Golden State Warriors right now, although they have titles, have a great starting 5 and no bench. When you pay a bunch of stars a lot of money, you have no depth. Now, the Warriors starters are so good, they'll win anyway. The Rams pay about 7 guys a ton, but they don't. If Todd Gurley gets hurt, they don't have a running game. If Robert Woods got hurt now, they don't have a passing game. And, boy, I hope Aqib Talib can fix this secondary because they get beat a lot. Finally, Saints-Panthers tonight. Cam's last stand. Panthers have lost 5 straight. They're in game. Outside of the Steelers games, they're in games. And I don't want to hear any more excuses. Their O-line's good enough. DJ Moore, rookie, can play. Christian McCaffrey. I don't want to hear any more excuses. You got to win this game tonight. With a loss tonight, Carolina would not be eliminated, Joy, but they would need so much help. So I think it is Cam's last stand. I think one of the there's occasionally you'll see these bizarre stats. Cam Newton has never had back-to-back winning seasons. It's just a what?
That's the story of Cam Newton, though.
Yeah, roller coaster Cam.
Yeah.
And I think you eventually over time players become sort of their personality. Derek Fisher, a former Laker, former Knick coach, will be joining us on the show tomorrow. Michael Vick, Ben Volen, Trent Dilfer, and Sean Merriman stop by today. If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift, the original Untucked shirt, untuckit.com, code HERD, get 20% off. The perfect length, untuckit.com, code HERD for 20% in savings. So it is very interesting to me when I look at this game tonight. It doesn't feel like it's the be-all, end-all. But if the Saints lose tonight, the league's in utter chaos. Remember, who was the hottest teams in the league in September? It was Kansas City, and it was the Rams. They both don't look quite as good. Defense on both issues can't make key stops. Who are the teams that struggled early? The Colts and the Houston. Okay, they're now over the last 2 months playing really well. Sometimes I think, Joey, we forget these seasons are long.
Oh, we do. We forget every year. We do the same thing with the NBA. We panic early. It's a disaster. Trade everyone. And then after the All-Star break, we're like, oh. And maybe it just takes a few months to get things going. It's the same thing with the NFL. We always forget.
The Saints struggled a little the first week or two. They struggled with Cleveland, and lost to Tampa in their opener and struggled with Cleveland. But I think if you ask me who's been the best team the longest, I would say the Saints. They have been the best team in the league the longest.
You just feel like you can trust them more.
Yes, I do. And I told you, I feel like the best teams in the league now are some combination of Chargers, Chiefs, Saints. But if the Saints lose tonight, I didn't say that. The Herd Hierarchy and Derek Fisher on our show tomorrow. Thanks so much for stopping by on a Monday in LA for everybody here. It's been The Herd.